I want you to picture this. You're 35,000 feet in the air, seat 24B, window seat. You've got your headphones in, maybe a snack. The hum of the engines is almost relaxing. Outside, nothing but clouds and blue sky. And somewhere behind you, beneath the floor, tucked inside the tail of that plane, there's a small orange box, just sitting there, quietly recording every single thing. The altitude, the speed, the pilot's voice, every button pressed, every warning alarm. Now here's what's strange. That little box, it's called a black box. But it's not black, it's bright orange. And it's not actually a box, it's cylindrical. So, why do we call it that? And more importantly, when a plane hits the ground at 500 miles per hour and explodes into a fireball, why does that little device survive when nothing else does? Turns out there's a brilliant reason. Today, we're uncovering the mystery of the black box, how this seemingly ordinary device is actually a masterpiece of extreme engineering, and why the secret hiding inside could be the difference between understanding a tragedy and never knowing what happened at all. But before we dive in, welcome back to We Knew That, the channel where everyday objects reveal their extraordinary secrets. If you're new here and this is already getting your brain going, hit that subscribe button right now, because we drop mind-blowing discoveries like this every single week. All right, you ready? Let's uncover this together. To understand the black box, we first have to look at the terrifying reality of early aviation disasters and what investigators were left with afterward. Nothing. Absolute nothing. Imagine a plane goes down in the 1940s, somewhere over the Pacific or in the mountains. Investigators arrive at the wreckage. They're looking at twisted metal, burned debris, and silence. No data, no recordings, no final words from the cockpit, no instrument readings from the last 30 seconds of flight. Just questions. Why did it go down? Was it mechanical failure? Pilot error? A catastrophic system collapse? They had no idea. Back then, aviation investigators were basically detectives at a crime scene with no fingerprints, no witnesses, and no camera footage. They were guessing, educated guessing, but still guessing, and planes kept going down, and the same mistakes kept happening over and over again. Because without data, you can't find patterns. Without patterns, you can't fix the problem. And without fixing the problem, people kept dying. The aviation world desperately needed a witness that could survive anything, something that would always tell the truth, even after everything else was destroyed. Step 1. The first breakthrough. In the early 1950s, an Australian scientist named Dr. David Warren had a revolutionary idea. What if you could build a device that recorded cockpit conversations and flight data and make it virtually indestructible? Not just tough, not just water-resistant, indestructible. His prototype was called the ARL Flight Memory Unit. The aviation world mostly ignored it at first. Classic, right? But then a series of catastrophic crashes forced everyone to pay attention. By the 1960s, regulators made it mandatory. Every commercial flight had to carry one, and that's when engineers faced the real challenge. How do you build something that survives a disaster, that destroys everything else? Step 2. The evolution, engineering for the unthinkable. Think of it like this. You know how an egg has a yolk protected by layers? The white, the shell, the membrane? The black box works exactly the same way. On the outside, a bright orange casing. That color isn't random. It's designed to be found in wreckage, underwater, in forests, in mountains. Peel that back, and you hit a layer of insulating material that absorbs impact. Then comes a thin layer of aluminum. Then, the memory unit itself, wrapped in stainless steel armor, 1 inch thick. That memory unit has to survive. An impact of 3,400 Gs of force. That's like hitting a wall at full speed, 3,400 times over. Flames at 1,100 degrees Celsius for 1 full hour. Being submerged in 20,000 feet of ocean water for 30 days. And crushing pressure that would flatten a car like a tin can. Mind blown yet? Because here's where it gets wild. There are actually 2 black boxes on every plane. One records flight data, speed, altitude, direction, engine performance. The other records cockpit audio, every conversation, every alarm, every sound in that cockpit for the last 2 hours of flight. 2 witnesses, both built like tiny tanks. Step 3. The modern twist. And the money/law angle. Here's the part most people never think about. Airlines and manufacturers are legally required by international aviation law, specifically ICAO regulations, to install certified black boxes on every commercial aircraft. No box, no flying. Full stop. But why do governments care so much? Simple. Data saves lives and money. When investigators decode a black box after a crash, they don't just solve that one tragedy. They identify systemic problems, design flaws, training failures. Think of it like a domino effect, in reverse. One black box data recovery prevents the next 10 crashes from ever happening. That saves airlines from billion-dollar lawsuits. It saves manufacturers from catastrophic recalls. It saves regulators from public scandal. And most importantly, it saves lives. So every dollar spent building that indestructible little device, it pays back 1,000 times over. But wait, if they're so important, why do we still call them black boxes? Nobody actually knows for certain. Some say it's old aviation slang for any mysterious electronic device. Others think early prototypes were painted black. The name stuck, even when the color changed to bright orange. Because in engineering, sometimes the nickname outlives the reason. So next time you board a plane and settle into seat 24B, don't think of the black box as just some government-required gadget sitting in the tail. You're actually flying alongside one of the most resilient objects ever engineered by human hands. Something designed to outlast explosions, infernos, and crushing ocean pressure. Just to tell the truth about what happened, it's not a box, it's not black, but it might be the single most important device on that entire aircraft. A silent witness, an indestructible storyteller, built to survive the unsurvivable. So the next flight is safer than the last. And that moment when it all clicks? Ah, now we knew. If this changed how you see air travel, smash that like button. Subscribe to We Knew That for more everyday objects with extraordinary secrets hiding in plain sight. Drop a comment with "We knew that" and tell us what object you want us to investigate next. New discoveries every week. See you in the next one.